Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. This is Kevin, the Weather Service. We'll get started in just a second once I check the sound. All right, looks like I'm having some problems determining if my sound is coming in, so if we can get a quick verification through chat, if anyone can hear me, that would be fantastic. Just kind of give me a heads up if my sound is coming in. I should be coming in right now. Just want to make sure. Here, just one quick moment. Looks like I think I may. Okay, we're good. Awesome. Perfect. All right. So let's go ahead and jump right into it here and get the latest on Zeta, where it's at right now. Let's go ahead and jump right into it here. The storm just rolled through Slidell, and we had a peak wind gust of 68 miles per hour here at the office, and that was it's a pretty wild ride, and a lot of people out there has been experiencing these type of high winds, and it's been very dangerous across the area. We have numerous reports of power outages, numerous reports of damage all across from south of New Orleans, including New Orleans, and all across the North Shore. And the storm is still going. It's going across Picayune now with the center just near there. We have, I believe, we had the center go right over our office here, and now it looks like we're starting to have winds pick up here a little bit back from the northwest or west-northwest, which will pick up with time. And we have been noticing that lately, from some of these observations, some of the winds are actually picking up really high behind the storm. Even MSY is gusting near 50 miles per hour. That would be the New Orleans International Airport. The North Shore, the winds are picking up too on the back side of it. We were advertising that earlier with the last Facebook Live that the winds will be picking up on the back side, and that's what's happening now. So it's windy again back in New Orleans, and it's going to turn windy again across the North Shore as the center moves off towards the northeast. So some of the worst conditions currently are across Bay St. Louis up towards Poplarville and Bogalusa down to Sun and Tallahassee. That whole area is experiencing some of the high winds that just came across Slidell. And it's basically riding 59 to the northeast and will continue that way and maybe be up to Hattiesburg here probably in the next 30 minutes or 30 to 45, or I would say probably an hour from now. When it gets up there, expect bad conditions across Hattiesburg too. Maybe the winds will come down a little bit, but there's still going to be a high wind risk with it. So this is still in our area, and we're going to track this thing all the way out until it moves into Jackson and Mobile's county warning area. But we still have that eye wall here, a little bit of a piece of very high winds and torrential rainfall falling in Bay St. Louis right now, just passing Diamond Head. And this is going to continue to move across, if I can loop this, it's going to continue to move across the Mississippi coast, basically. And we're getting some very high wind reports now. We just had one gust right there at Gulfport of 76 miles per hour. And that's a very serious wind there, very significantly serious wind. Biloxi, 71 miles per hour. Pascagoula gusting at 51 miles per hour. So between 50 to 70 mile per hour winds are currently across the Mississippi coast. There could be some very significant power outages and some damage in some areas. Significant storm surge could be peaking pretty much right now all throughout the rest of the night. So surge inundation is becoming a significant issue all across the coastline. Don't get anywhere near the water. And pretty much, if you live anywhere across the Mississippi coast, do not get out and drive in this at all. Do not get out and be exposed to these types of winds. You're putting your life at risk, and if something happens and you need emergency personnel to rescue you or anything like that, you're putting their life in danger too. So we want you to only go out if there's an emergency situation. Do not be traveling anywhere across the Mississippi coastline right now. And that includes Pearl River as well and Hancock. So if you live anywhere in these four counties, Pearl River, Hancock, Harrison, and Jackson, just stay put. Do not get out in this. And for areas back to the back to the west, including St. Tammany, Tangipahoa, Washington Parish, winds are picking up on the back side of it. And for New Orleans, we still have high winds across the area, so it may be a good idea to stay out of it. So also, we had one report too of just got a old previous coworker of mine just texted me here telling me that we hit 101 miles per hour peak in Shell Beach. So that was a significant high wind. That was actually relatively recent. That was on the back side of it. So that's just more of a that's more of a kind of a takeaway there, that the high winds are very significant on the backside of the storm. So please, if you're in New Orleans, don't get out and travel just yet. Just stay in. I would say really just stay in for the night would be your best bet. It would be a safe thing to do because high winds extend well back to the south and west of the storm. Just stay in if you're in New Orleans. Same thing for the North Shore as well. This is still a very significant issue across the area. There's numerous power outages and damage all across the area. We don't want you traveling out around there. You may cross a down power line, which is that could be life-threatening in that situation. We don't want anything like that. Just stay in for the rest of the night. So as the storm moves off to the north, also we want to talk about the other threats that have come across the situation with the storm. We're talking about high winds because that's the primary risk. We've been talking about how high winds were the biggest deal with the storm, and as you can see, it really is. We know storm surges probably we would rank that just below it, but it's still extremely significant across the area. The worst area is going to be across coastal Mississippi, like I was just talking about. But for flooding has not been so bad, but still there are some puddles out there and some roads that could be covered. Mostly we're seeing that from the inundation from surge around some roads close to the coastline in southeast Louisiana and southern Mississippi. So surge is the biggest issue when it comes to flooding. However, some low-lying areas that traditionally flood, will have some issues. And then rivers and creeks have been swelling a lot too around this area with flood warnings in effect still for those areas. Also, as far as the tornado risk goes, the good news, if there's some good news here, we can finally give an all clear of any type of tornado risk anywhere. I would pretty much say anywhere in Louisiana is an all clear. It's all now Mississippi. That's, again, Pearl River, Hancock, Harrison, and Jackson County still has that tornado risk. So anywhere in Louisiana, when you're on that back side, we just don't get tornadoes on the back side. Just the only issue there is we get that dry air to try and wrap in, so it's not as much heavy rain in the back side. And then we don't see any type of, we just see winds, basically. No heavy rain, flooding, or tornadoes on the back side of it, just high wind. It's just all that's going to be left on the back side of this across Louisiana. And the tornado risk is primarily, again, just going to be coastal Mississippi. So keep that in mind here as the storm is racing, and it is moving very fast. Basically, like I said, riding Interstate 59. It'll be in Hattiesburg very soon here later tonight, even maybe up to close to Meridian, and then getting closer up towards our friends in central Alabama up to Birmingham by later tonight, possibly around midnight or shortly after, where they could have a high wind event for that area as well. So going back real quick to our Twitter page, where we're constantly posting updates there, letting you know all the recent information. If we get a report, if we get someone to tweet to us, if you do, tweet us at NWS New Orleans. We take reports there. We would appreciate it if you can send those reports. We can see that we're posting radar updates. We're posting anything. If you take a picture or a video of the damage, if you happen to be taking pictures, there's a video there of transformers popping across the area. You can send it to us. That would be fantastic. We've been sharing on social media. We've been sharing it as well with broadcast meteorologists who, during this whole event, has been doing a fantastic job on TV and over social media, keeping you guys safe. And we always appreciate that. We really appreciate the partnership we have with the broadcast meteorologists across the area. We actually did, this is very cool, we actually did get our 7 p.m., our 7 o'clock balloon launch in. This would be the 00Z as we call it, which is measured in Zulu time, but we launched that a little bit late, but it still actually got to the database there. So that was quite an experience to launch in the eye of a hurricane in that case. So when we did that, we measured around, I can't remember the exact lowest pressure we saw, but I believe it was in the 970s, around 976 or 975 millibars. So that was the direct center of the hurricane at the time, and went straight up. The winds are calm in the center, so that we found out to be the safest opportunity to do the balloon launch. But after that, we're starting to notice winds are picking up now, so we try to think of safety first. So that's why we're a little bit later with that. But that was quite an experience there for our office. Water is completely covering around Grand Isle. The roads do not travel down there because you can't travel down there. There's way too much water covering the roadways. And we're constantly, like I said, we got damage photos all over the place. To give you an idea, this is what we're seeing. We got trees down everywhere. That's why it's just that's why we have a lot of power outages. It's just way too much damage out. Do not be driving out around the area, across the area. So again, tweet us at NWS New Orleans, and on Facebook we're active there as well. We're answering questions too. Again, really bad damage. There's Marrero where we have some just absolutely bad damage. I know Plaquemines Parish got hit really hard as well. So very serious situation there. We have a lot of people without power out of there. So just like I said, taking it back to the radar here, just hunker down anywhere, New Orleans, around even the West Bank, anywhere suburbs of New Orleans. Just stay in for tonight. It's the best thing to do. There's way too much damage and the winds are still too high. The same goes for St. Tammany Parish, Slidell, Covington, Mandeville, Madisonville, Hammond, Bogalusa. Just stay in. Franklinton, just stay in tonight. The storm again is going up towards Poplarville and will continue up to the northeast through Purvis and Hattiesburg later tonight. And right now, like I say, for what's going on right now, the focus is going to be on Hancock, Harrison, and Jackson County, Mississippi. It's your turn to see some of the worst of it, but we'll get through it. The storm is moving very fast, and we're promising a lot better weather conditions tomorrow, and then moving ahead into the upcoming weekend, especially for Halloween, if you have any plans ahead. So that's pretty much the reports we got here. We're going to be constantly posting weather updates on Twitter and Facebook. That's where you'll catch us. We will do probably one more update at probably at 8:30. We'll do one more, and that may be our last one, because by that point I think some of the impacts will kind of be limited towards more maybe far eastern Mississippi coastline and getting out of here. So we'll promise to do one more, at least one more. And again, we'll be constantly posting updates on social media where you can catch us there. So we appreciate you chiming in here and joining us here in this live update, which was nice to not have power outages for this update. So hopefully it'll be a little bit of a smoother ride here on out. And again, if you happen to be out in their area watching us in Southeast Louisiana, Southern Mississippi, stay safe, do not travel, and we'll get through this storm here in the next little bit. So thank you for joining, and stay safe.